Hey, welcome back, everybody. So today we are getting a little change of scenery. Instead of being in my usual space, we are outside enjoying some nature. So this is an edition of Outdoor Oracle. And I am really excited to have you guys here today. It feels really good to be outside and just enjoy this space. I feel like I can breathe deeper, and I love listening to the sound of the water. It just, on all levels, feels really good. So, welcome, and I'm glad you're here with me today. There's a couple reasons why I really wanted to do a reading out here with you guys next to the water. And partly is because I was looking at how many water, air, earth, fire signs are out there. I kind of got a little bit of a glimpse of that maybe with the August oracle that I posted, and it looks like we are mostly fiery bunch. I think maybe the runner up was Earth, and but way down at the bottom, at least when I was looking at the numbers and views and stuff, that was like a week or 2 weeks ago. No, was it a week ago? I've lost track of time. Did I only do that reading last week? It feels like a million years since I did the reading. So anyway, whenever that happened, I noticed that we don't have a lot of water. So we're pretty dehydrated. So either we don't have a lot of water in our chart, or that just wasn't very interesting. So what I'm thinking is to hydrate ourselves and get our water refreshed, recharged, renewed, all those really good R words. Yes. So it just feels great to do that. So I would recommend go get a glass of water, go get a giant bottle of water, and let's just relax with this. You can listen to the sound of the water. It just, yeah, this is gonna be nice. So here we go. I've also got the Healing Waters Oracle, of course, and we'll just we'll see, what does the water want to tell us today. Water, water, everywhere. We're made of water, mostly air. We're like mostly air and a bit of water. Okay, this is wild. I feel like we pulled this card before. This might have actually, if I think so. I think this was the card that I pulled for the water reading. And that's really interesting. So here we go. This is really the message that we've got for water this month. Beneath the surface, what's really driving you? True motives breaking free. Wow. What's really under the surface of all of that water? Let's keep, I'm actually going to pull another card to see what else does it want us to tune into. Under the surface. I feel like that's a song too. Under the surface. Is that like a Disney song? Oh, wow. All right. Atlantis. Is this the same reading? This is wigging me out. I feel like this already happened. Did this reading already happen? Atlantis. Keep the big vision. Stay in alignment as you grow. Wow. Under the surface. This is the resurfacing of some long lost Atlantean If you guys don't know already, I believe in Atlantis. Of course I do. I just because most people will say that it's a legend, that it's a myth. I think it's true. I really do. A lot of those memories are coming back up for us now to be washed with the water, and really just starting to let go of some of the things that happened to us collectively way back then. And one of the things that happened to us way back then is that we shut down our emotions. There was a time where we decided to actually become more mental. And rather than going the route of feeling the feelings, which can be really challenging and really tricky, we decided to shut those feelings and lock them away. And right now, a lot of those feelings are coming back up to the surface. And it's nothing to be afraid of, because this really is like the reading that we did already. This is just so weird. So this is very important. Yeah, wow. It's very important because it's so true. And so these feelings that come up, let's just take, for example, times where things are uncomfortable. Well, that's old energy. The old energy of suffering is starting to release itself from our reality, because we no longer are built to just survive here. And that was one of the things way back in the times of Mu, Lemuria, Atlantis, those ancient, beyond ancient days that you truly do remember. However, it's not so much locked in here. You're not really going to hear a voice of remembering. It's a feeling. It's a feeling of remembering. And it's in there. And it comes up. But that old energy of just being here to survive that's getting shifted. And it's actually time for us to thrive. It's time for us to learn how to live. It's time for us to enjoy being here. Like today, out in this beautiful little creek, taking time to seriously enjoy it. And not really all tied up in knots around, oh, should I be here? Should I be doing something else that's more productive? Is this... Yeah. So, what are things that really feed you and really get you back into your heart space? Tuning into the flow of things that are around you, and letting the feelings just flow right along. And then the second part of this, that Atlantean dream, is one of unity, and that part of the reason that emotions and things were turned down and mental analytical was turned up was mainly because they were trying to find a way for us all to fit together, and doing it with emotions felt messy and felt difficult. And if you look around you, that's what we've got so much of. We've got people's emotions all over the place, and it is messy and it is uncomfortable. But that's just what's going on, and that, don't worry too much about it. In fact, don't worry about it at all. Oh man, it's interesting. This reading is an interesting one. So let's go ahead and see what archetype comes up. Tuning into the water, tuning into the smell of the bay trees because they're so alive and fresh. The archetype. There it is. Oh, there it is. Oh, look at that. The archetype of the peacemaker. Take on the day with real cooperation. Be a positive force. Use your diplomacy well. Feel all of the empathy and harmony you have in you. And I love that it's a panda bear. It's like the merge of, opposites. That merging of duality. Sitting in a neutral place. Like peacemakers sit in a neutral place. Peacemakers don't side with one thing or another. They're there to make peace. And that means both sides are heard and acknowledged and respected, honored. And so here we have this peacemaker panda. This is why I love these cards, because they're so freaking cute. This peacemaker panda. And look what it has, this crescent moon on its shoulder. That is, I see moon as deep subconscious, past. And so here we go again with that Atlantean dream, where the Atlantean dream, it really did have the intention of being peacemakers and having everything come back into balance and unity and togetherness, and that it was absolutely beautiful. But it was a feeling of doing it with will, with force, with the word that's coming up is with dogma, with the hierarchies of holy people began in this era, where there suddenly were people that were more connected to the divine than others. And that's really not true. We're all connected exactly the same. It's just a matter of our awareness of it and what we choose to do with that connection to our own divinity, and really to, the divine all around us. Like, look at this place. Like, there's fairies and fishies and plant life, and even just the water, recognizing that the water is alive. So, and when we drink water, we are filling ourselves with one part of life. It's like we have two parts, actually many, but two big parts of life. We've got that sunlight that helps everything grow, and we've got the water that also helps everything grow, but in a very different way. So, yeah, cooperation of opposites and the way that they work together. So, standing in a neutral space. And I've started to realize something, that, worry and feeling sorry for people, or that the energy of judgment and all of that, it just does so much harm to you and to the people that you're doing this to. Like, really taking a look again, like that beneath the surface, when you start to have a rush of feelings. Let's say, like, you see someone out on the side of the road asking for change, and one part of you feels empathy and feels maybe pity, and or perhaps you know someone or have been in their shoes, and so there's a certain amount of recognition. Well, the one side of worry, self-pity, perhaps judgment, that's it's actually hurting you and that person, because it kind of solidifies a story of lack, or low self-esteem, or low self-worth, and things like that, of that nature, rather than recognizing that they also are in charge of their story, and that on some level they're learning something really important. And so to honor that process, honor the process of, learning things in all myriad ways. And so, and standing in that neutral ground of not taking sides, recognizing that both sides really have a reason to exist. And while you may not agree with how things are done, honoring all pieces of the puzzle empowers the puzzle to come back together. And so coming forward with that, like, long, like, this is an ancient, like, the water here is giving us an ancient reading. This is something very old. Very old is coming up. Okay, so I actually want to pull one of these cards as well. Let's see. Oh, wow, wisdom. Of course, wisdom. All of these things are coming up to be turned into wisdom, to be turned into this beautiful pearl. That, especially when we're struggling with something, to really offer it up to your guides, and and with guides, these guides are just you. These guides are you. These guides are part of just the bigger, more expanded cosmic version of you, the multidimensional magician that you are. So, when these things come up from deep down, deep below the surface, I can see you being a magician of sorts with this energy, and you can offer it straight in to your highest knowing to come back to you as wisdom. We won't always know the answers. We don't always know why it is, especially if we try to process it all. And so why is it that we're feeling a certain thing, or why is it that we can't get a certain thing done, or why am I still stuck in this loop, this pattern? And that's when you offer it up to wisdom, because it's not so much for the mind to know and wrap its head around. Sometimes your body, your water, because remember, we're doing a water reading. Sometimes that water in you has a message, and we need to actually get out of our minds. It'll feel a little crazy, so that we can deeply take that plunge and listen to the wisdom that is coming up. And be that peacemaker for yourself. Honor your process. Honor this. Take that moment and really, love yourself. Give yourself that recognition that you are doing some really ancient work this lifetime. And if you're here on this particular channel, you are an old soul, I'm sure. So, and Atlantis is, it's so amazing with the, the water flowing, and this whole place submerged. So and by submerged, I almost wonder if that's like, did it physically do that, or was it a metaphor? of submerging down deep, deep into the subconscious realm, down deep into the subconscious realm, but it's still there. So I feel like pulling yet another water card to kind of like, let's give us a little bit more from the water and breathe in and just listen. Of course, cleansing, cleansing, releasing the old, energetic tune-up and new beginnings. So as we wind down with August and we start heading into September, and we are officially now in Virgo season. So um, it really is like releasing something that was in our fire, locked in the creative centers. And I like to think of us as just, you know, rather than breaking everything into to chakras, right now I have been leaning into this idea of just one, that we are just one energetic being, one chakra almost. And to really just like sit in this feeling of all of you, all of these pieces of your puzzle coming back in to your awareness, coming back into your wisdom. And you'll know, because like once this comes back to you, wisdom, it's a knowing. And it's that aha, it's that crystal clear clarity of something. Even if maybe you can't always put your finger or articulate exactly, your energetic body, your water knows. And so look at what's going on with our water right now in this spot, in this beautiful place. We're getting some much needed cleansing. So even just taking a sip of your water with the sound of this creek and letting it move straight through and allowing all of that to be flushed through your system, to be transformed into wisdom. This is a very healing place. And I am very glad that you're here with me. So we'll pull just one last card. And this one are these little word cards that I have. The shadow. So we are cleaning up our shadows right now. And the shadows are they're so important. Without shadows, we wouldn't know what our shapes are. Like shadows and light, they work together to define the fact that I have edges and that this is a place that's real. If it was just all shadow, it would be complete darkness and we couldn't see anything. If it was all light, everything would be washed out and we again could not see anything, we'd be blind. And so here we are, really allowing these two to define our boundaries. Shadows help us define our boundaries, and water as it's flowing and moving through the landscape, it creates its own artwork, its own pools and eddies, and um, yeah, it too has its shadow. Let's read what it says here. It says, false projections, be lovingly inquisitive, allow the hidden to be revealed and healed. Let the darkness serve to give definition to the light. So that's a really beautiful message. And here we are on this journey of really deeply releasing these very ancient patterns, these very ancient shadows. And one of those shadows is allowing yourself to be in an emotional space and being overly mental about what is going on around you, taking longer moments with yourself and your breath, and even your water, taking moments and tuning into that. Yeah, I feel like this is a very deep reading, and that I probably could go into it so much more. I'm proud of my little camera battery. It's doing good. But let's go ahead and pull one more card, and we're going to keep this reading more on the short side. Oh, wow. I love this. Oh my gosh, guys. Celebrate sovereignty. Celebrate your sovereignty. Isn't that amazing? So take a moment to enjoy your accomplishments. And sovereignty, be the ruler of your domain. Wear your crown with pride. You've earned it. Stand in your power and your inherent deservingness. That just by you being born, just by you existing here, you are worthy. You are worthy of all of the beauty that is around you. You are I feel like we're all on that, learning how to be creators in this world and to create what we want rather than create just from like old patterns of suffering, rather like letting the world create your scenario rather than you create your scenario. I think we're all learning how to do that. It's definitely a learning curve. It takes time because a lot of it is like releasing and cleaning up all the shadows. But remember that we don't need to work at it. Like, it's as simple as coming out to a creek and just breathing next to it and listening to the water. Just doing that. And then without even thinking about it, offer it up to your guides for, whatever it may be, for some wisdom. It just comes back and everything becomes so much more clear. And things get lighter and easier. And it becomes easier and easier to celebrate that you're doing this. That you're doing this and you're creating such beauty in your lives. So really just start to, take a look around you at like all the things that are truly beautiful and that truly fill you up in your life, because they're already there. They're already around you. I'm just noticing, actually, as I look out, there's this big patch of blackberries. And I may have to go eat those because they look good. So I do hope that everybody out there is enjoying these. I mean, in California, it will feel like summer probably for a while. But for those of you that experience more seasons, I do hope that summer has been really beautiful, and I hope that you've enjoyed it, and that, you know, these going into fall, I hope that that also brings about beauty in your world as well. I would love to someday, I have not been to the East Coast to see the fall foliage. I've been to the East Coast, but never at that time. So, yeah, it would be beautiful to see the change of seasons. That would be amazing. So that's part of enjoying the world and the way that everything changes constantly. And I love that the water, when I sat down, it was a creek. And now that I have continued to being here, it is a very different creek, even just in the 20, 30 minutes that I've been here. It has changed, it has evolved, and it is a brand new creek in some way. And that's what water is all about, ever cycling, ever moving. So, and that's what we are doing together, evolving and changing and shifting, constantly renewing ourselves. So, yeah. All right. That's the end of this reading for today. Thank you guys for coming out here to this really beautiful place. I've got everything set up in this little tripod. Otherwise, I would just like whirl you around to see the beauty. I suppose I could do that. But anyway, let's see. There you go. I know I can't see what I'm filming. But anyway, I'm glad that you guys were here. If you've made it this far, I really appreciate all of your support, and so please, as always, give it a like because it helps the YouTubes. And share these things with people. Like, I don't care if you share my video. There's 2 dragonflies attached, so they're making babies. We've got dragonfly babies. So, but yeah, I don't really care if you share my video, but, you know, share your light. That's more important to me. Get out there and be your beautiful, amazing, magical, awesome self. And just enjoy the fact that you are alive, because that's fucking cool. I'm so glad that you are alive at the same time that I'm alive, and we can both be alive together. So on that note, I guess I will see you at the next time I do this thing with you guys. And so I'll see you guys later. Bye.